Hello everyone and welcome to another video. Today we're once again back in Warframe for another build, and this time we're having a look at Yareli Prime. I just managed to get my hands on this Prime version of the Warframe, and that also means that I have to spend some platinums on rushing it because I'm not gonna wait 3 days to play in Warframe. Honestly, that is just boring and very sad. But yeah, this is Yareli Prime, this is my fashion. I think she does look quite nice. Of course, let me know your opinions in the comments. I'm gonna make a full short video with all the details for this fashion if you're interested. And yes, I don't have the Compressor Prime, I am still working on it. Anyways, that's enough introductions for now, so let's jump into the build. Starting from Yareli Prime's abilities. Her passive grants her 200% crit chance whenever she has been moving for 1.5 seconds or longer, and whenever you stop you lose this buff. This is a multiplicative crit chance boost, it's not gonna be an additive one, so you won't be getting red crits. It works the same way as any other mods we have in the game. Moving to the first ability, this one is called Seasoners. By casting this ability, you summon 5 globals that will track nearby enemies, and you can have a maximum of 15 at any moment on the ground, and if you recast the ability once again whenever you have 15, the first instance of those globals will explode and deal damage and make space for the new ones. Whenever enemies are debuffed by Seasoners, they take more damage and also some cold damage over time. They are also going to be suspended in the air and unable to move. Moving to the second ability, this one is called Merolina. And by casting it, you summon Merolina, which is a rideable creature which works the same way as a cage eye whenever Yareli is riding it. It also grants you 90% damage redirection because she will take 90% of the damage you take on her HP, and whenever Merolina's HP goes to 0, she just disappears and you have to recast the ability to bring her back. Additionally, whenever you do cast the ability, you also gain 4 seconds of invincibility or invulnerability, and that means you won't be taking any damage during the animation and for a little bit longer after that. Moving to the third ability, this one usually would be Aqua Blades, but in this case I replace it with Tempest Barrage, which is an ability that summons a tempest of rain down upon a certain area for a certain duration and deals corrosive damage to all enemies inside, and this is gonna be one of the abilities we use the most to deal damage to enemies. And the last ability is Riptide. By casting it, you summon a Maelstrom that will pull in all enemies within a certain radius. It does last for a certain duration, and during this duration it deals damage over time to enemies inside, and at the end of the duration it explodes and deals damage to all enemies in a certain radius. Depending on how many enemies were caught in the initial AoE, this ability will also deal additional damage, so the more enemies inside, the more damage it deals, and this is another ability we are going to use quite a lot for this build. So those were the abilities, let's now move on to Archon Shards. I'm using one Forge Ember Archon Shard with casting speed to reduce the amount of time we spend casting abilities, because although they are very cute and very adorable, they also take quite a long time to cast, so yeah, this is just here for that. Then I'm using 2 Emerald Archon Shards with +2 to corrosive stacks, and this makes it so we can armor strip enemies with Tempest Barrage or any other form of corrosive application, and then 2 Forge Emerald Archon Shards with +15% ability damage on enemies affected by corrosive. They are always going to be affected by corrosive thanks to Tempest Barrage and thanks to our weapons, so yeah, Tempest Barrage, Seasoners and even Riptide will all deal more damage to enemies. And these are the mods I use for the build. Growing Power for more ability strength when we apply statuses with our weapons. Prime Sure-Footed for more of a personal choice because you won't be needing it since you are gonna be pretty much immortal with this build, but it allows us to avoid knockdowns, which is it's very nice in general to have. Ancient Fortitude and Aggro Secrets for more ability strength at the cost of ability duration. Stretch for more ability range. Prime Flow for more energy capacity. Prime Continuity for more ability duration. Adaptation to build resistance to different damage types, and then 2 augments. Viral Tempest allows our Tempest Barrage to also apply viral and not just corrosive. This way we deal more damage with our abilities and our weapons. And Loyal Merolina, which makes it so Merolina won't be a cage drive anymore, she is going to become a natural pet that follows you and casts Seasoners every 2 seconds. This 2 seconds cooldown can be reduced if you increase your ability efficiency in any way. And the arcanes I'm using are Arcane Aegis that on shield damage has a chance to grant us shield regeneration, and this makes us pretty much immortal. And Arcane Energize for a big burst of energy once in a while, although if you don't have it, you can go for Arcane Steadfast, which works in the same way, but you might have to run Xenoric instead of Madurai. As for the weapons, I am using these ones. They are just a personal preference and nothing too serious. You can use whatever you prefer, but in my case I'm using the Torrid as my primary of choice with these Incarnon evolutions, and the build is mostly focused on Blast and Corrosive, so it is pretty much perfect for, in this case, Yareli. So yeah, this is pretty much the build. Then for my secondary, I'm using the Compressor, and whenever I get it, I'm gonna move on to the Compressor Prime, because I'm assuming it's just gonna be better, and the build is gonna stay the same. It's gonna be this one, which is once again focused around blast damage, and thanks to Cascadian Powered, we can also apply blast a lot faster and trigger it a lot faster, and we also are building for a lot of fire rate, so yeah, it's pretty much a blast machine gun. And the melee I'm using is once again focused around blast, because I'm using the Tuck and Lug. I made a full guide on this weapon a few days ago, so if you wanna check that, there's going to be a link in the top right corner of your screen right now. And this weapon once again deals blast damage thanks to the heavy attacks, and this is a heavy attack build, so we're gonna spam this and deal damage to all enemies and kill them very easily, thanks to also melee influence, which is going to spread that blast to all enemies within 20 meters. The focus tree I am using is going to be Madurai, but if you're having energy problems, go for Zenoric, although I do recommend Madurai because of the 50% casting speed and 40% power shant we get just by casting a few Void Slings, and obviously for the usual Void Strike and everything else it has, which is very useful if you want to use your Operator. And of course, the companion I'm going to use is my Panzer Ulpafila, because I just am so in love with this pet, but if you don't want to use this one, just go for an Nautilus or any Hound or literally whatever other pet you prefer. They're all very good and they all have their uses. This is the build I have on my Panzer, and this is the build I have on its claws. I have once again a full guide on this pet and why I'm using this mod specifically, so if you want to check that, there's gonna be another video in the top right corner of your screen right now. And that's pretty much the whole build, so let's now see it in action. Alright, I just summoned 20 Rapid Heavy Gunners, level 225 with Steel Path modifiers, and they are probably going to be hard to deal with. The thing is that the moment we cast our Tempest Barrage and our Merolina is able to start applying its Seasoners, our pet is also gonna be able to kill everyone thanks to electricity, and I mean, that's pretty much what's gonna happen in mission as well. But of course we can do that ourselves if we just do the same and also cast our Riptide. And that's going to deal a lot of damage to all enemies inside whenever we explode it. And also group them up if you want to use, for example, our melee with a heavy attack to deal with all of them, or we just want to use our primary or secondary weapons. It's pretty much the same, although there's a kind of a bug with the Compressor. Not sure if it also happens with the Compressor Prime, but if you do this, enemies just go flying. I'm not sure if it's just a Simulacrum thing or not, but yeah, keep it in mind, it might happen to you in a mission. And if you want to see how the Takalagi performs in this scenario, well, it is just one heavy attack and everything is dead usually, and that's pretty much it. And the same goes for our turret here, because yeah, this weapon is also so strong and applies blasts insanely fast and detonates. All of that to deal a massive amount of burst damage to all enemies inside our Riptide. And of course our Compressor is nothing to laugh about either, because we don't even have to aim anymore, right? We just shoot the ground and everything dies, which is also very good. And yeah, that's pretty much Yareli Prime. I'm enjoying this build quite a lot, although once again it's not exactly final. I think this might be the last iteration for this specific build, but if you have any tips or any recommendations, leave them in the comments and I'm gonna check them out, and if they're actually good, I'm probably gonna make a video out of them and of course give you a shout out. But yeah, I'm gonna spend some more time testing and see if I can find some other very strong combinations, because this one is not exactly there, it's not completely broken, and I need to break the game with Yareli as well. Anyways, I'm gonna leave you guys to the showcase now, where I test this build for 10 minutes in a Grenade Steel Path survival, so you can see how it performs in a more realistic scenario. If you enjoyed the video, remember to leave a like, and if you like my content, consider subscribing. I wish you a beautiful rest of the day, thanks for watching, and bye-bye.
Trust me, I don't wanna feel no more. mine. I'm thinking out loud before we draw a crowd. Reel it in, take it easy. There's no need to scream and shout. As far as I can see, my head thinking somehow to erase it. As far as I can see, my to do what you're scared. It's you, my favorite, but I wanna taste you and feel you shake, raising an earthquake. Can't push the brakes when a rush hits. We're going in, we're going in. Look at me biting my cheek, react the eye. Only gets better, I'm weak in the knees. We hit the sheets, you on my lips, I'm feeling the heat. That's all I need. When the day's gone, we've only begun. That's the best part, when we get it on. I'm addicted, no denying it. Cause you don't cross my mind, you're living it. I wanna taste you and feel you shake, raising an earthquake. Can't push the brakes when a rush hits. We're going in, we're going in. Look at me biting my cheek, year after year. Only gets better, I'm weak in the knees. We hit the sheets, you on my lips, I'm feeling the heat. That's all I need. Look at me biting my cheek, year after year. Only gets better, I'm weak in the knees. We hit the sheets, you on my lips, I'm feeling the heat. That's all I need.